Bees are what we call a keystone species. A keystone species is a species in which other life in the ecosystem largely depend on. Bees are responsible for the survival of our agriculture through pollination. In fact, 1/3 of our global food supply is pollinated by bees. They pollinate roughly 150 crop species, from fruits to vegetables to nuts.
But the bees are dying off, not just in Detroit, but nationwide. In the 1930s, there were approximately 6 million beehives in the US. Today, that number has shrunk to 2.5 million hives. Much of this decline has been attributed to many factors such as colony collapse disorder, man-made climate changes, varroa mites, and insecticides.
The loss of pollinators could lead to lower availability of crops and plant life, which provide essential micronutrients for human diets and nutritional security. This poses an increased risk for people suffering from vitamin A, iron, and folate deficiencies. In southeastern Michigan alone, more than 600,000 people are food insecure. In fact, in Detroit, nearly half of all households are food insecure. Without bees, our entire food chain would be at risk, and our diets would consist mainly of corn, wheat, and rice, since they are pollinated by the wind. Additionally, not having bees would also lead to an approximate $20 billion loss in agricultural production.
To alleviate this problem, we started B+. B+ is a for-impact nonprofit organization that fosters education on the importance of bees within the Wayne State community and their impact on the public health of Detroit. Furthermore, Detroit has roughly 15,000 acres of vacant land that can be used to build urban bee farms to prevent the diminishing bee populations in the city. We hope to change the culture around bees in the community, promote agricultural growth, biodiversity, and decrease food insecurity. Moreover, this idea could form a new model of thinking for the community called pollinator-conscious nutrition.
With our combined connections with other urban farmers, bee farmers, and as members of the Michigan Beekeepers Association, we can develop partnerships to market our organization. But more importantly, to help us build these apiaries in various areas throughout the Detroit community.
Throughout the history of Detroit, many communities have been shut out and overlooked. These communities are at risk for lacking in nutritional health, and they experience food insecurity. In order to bring light to these areas, we want to transform lives by targeting ecological wellness. Our mission is to build upon the wealth and the resources of the land that will inspire generational beauty for this city. Our first objective is to establish a beehive on Wayne State's campus to engage the student community in our efforts to prevent the diminishing bee population.
The fight to save the bees is an all-inclusive effort. Once our organization is up and running, we plan to apply for grants, sell merchandise, and honey in order to further develop our organization. We want to help all bees, not just the ones that make honey, because a world without bees would truly sting.